In today's video, I'll be making art with Arrtx paint markers. This video is sponsored, but everything I say are my honest thoughts and opinions. So let's get into the video. Arrtx sent me their 48 set of acrylic markers, which come in this cute purple box. The box does have slots or dividers in the bottom of it to keep all the markers in place, which is quite nice. The markers themselves have the fun and unique pattern on them, which I find quite cute. It also has the instructions on them on how to use them, which the first thing you have to do before using them is to shake them to make sure all the ink is well mixed. They make this little fun sound because there's a little bead on the inside. So when you shake it, it makes a little satisfying noise. Make sure the cap is on so you don't make a mess. They are a 3mm nib. After you shake them, you do need to press the nibs into a piece of paper several times to fill it with ink, which is quite fun and satisfying to watch. For the 48 colors you get, there is a pretty good variety of colors, which 2 of them are metallic. It's a silver and a gold metallic, which I think are really cute and would be fun to use on little projects. Absolutely love the red, pink, and purple variety. I think these colors are super duper cute. I also like how bright and vibrant all these colors are. I feel like you can make some pretty fun art with these colors. I do wish there was a little more variety in the blues because I find some of the blues are kind of similar, and apparently these have 50% more ink than most brands, which I feel like I could kind of tell when I was using them that they had a lot of ink, because I was honestly surprised with how much ink there was and with how flat I was able to get some areas when I was drawing with them. They do also work on a variety of surfaces. I mostly in this video use paper and I do use canvas, which I did test it on a rock and on the bottom of a mug I own. For the first picture, I decided to draw in my sketchbook. I thought this is where I would use the paint markers most, so I wanted to try them out in my sketchbook. I decided to draw a girl looking through a magnifying glass at a butterfly because I've been following the Inktober prompts, and the prompt was discover. I decided to follow the prompts to rebuild a sketch habit. You're supposed to use ink because it is Inktober, but I wanted to not put that pressure on myself, so I was just using these prompts to inspire myself. Like I was talking about in my last video, I'm working on rebuilding my passion and creativity, so I don't want to put the pressure on what type of art I need to make and just focus on having fun with it, because I feel the prompts would help to push my creativity, which I've been having fun with it. I haven't been super consistent though. I have fallen behind a bit, but I'm not going to let that stop me, and I'm not going to be too hard on myself about it either, because that doesn't help at all. And I know I've fallen behind because I was working on art for this video and because I was sick for like 3 days, like in bed sick, which I hate it when I'm sick because I'm always stuck in bed for like a few days, sometimes a week, because of how sick I get, which is so annoying when you want to get stuff done and you want to work on like projects daily. It's just kind of annoying. But the moment I felt better, I started working on the prompts, which is how you're getting this picture. I tried to put quite a few things around her. Like I put a mushroom, like a little daisy, and a tulip. And then she's looking at the butterfly, of course. I think the idea of this picture is cute, but I don't think it turned out very cute. I haven't used paint markers a lot or used them in a long time, so I was having skill issues, and choosing to do it at a small scale with the amount of detail I was wanting wasn't really working. I felt like I was kind of fighting the art supplies with my idea because I didn't plan enough, and I wasn't very skilled with using these yet because they're still very, very new to me. But I feel like these markers are very beginner friendly though, because I am very new to paint markers in a way. I've used them a bit when I was younger, but I'm still not super good at them yet. And I also kept smudging and messing up, which I completely smudged her eye at some point, which I was really worried about because it's like a dark purple, and I was worried it wasn't gonna cover it because her skin tone's a light color. Luckily, these markers seem to be pretty opaque, so I was able to cover it just fine, which I was so happy about. I do end up going over this picture with some different Arrtx markers that have a brush tip. They were given to me at some point by my older sister. I decided to just use them on top to finish up this sketch real quick. At least it wasn't intended to be a sketch, but it ended up being kind of a sketch because it's super messy. I just quickly went over it with that marker, but it still turned out kind of cute. For this next picture, I'm going to be drawing a duck because I saw a cute duck on Pinterest and it made me really want to draw a duck, and I've been really wanting to use this small canvas I have. I've had it for a few years. I think I got it in a powerful box. I think that's what it's called. I don't quite remember what they're called, but I used to have a subscription to them when I was younger, but only for a little bit. And I got this small canvas in it, and I've been wanting to use it for a long time, and I decided to finally use it since I had the paint markers. And I felt a duck would be the perfect thing for this small canvas. I was originally going to have for the other picture in this video be a picture of Moses the mouse and his wife. I was going to design his wife and just make a cute little picture of them. Only the sketching process was recorded, so it's not going to be in this video at all. I'll show the little sketch though. It stopped recording because I do record on my phone. Sometimes I run out of storage space and I have to delete things. So I lost all that footage, sadly. These paint markers work a lot better on the canvas because they don't really damage it like the paper. I'll talk about that more later in the next picture, but it applied really smoothly and it did take a little longer to dry on the canvas, but they dry really fast. So for someone who's a pretty impatient artist, it worked pretty well for me. As you can see in the footage, sometimes I do mess up and I'm cleaning it up because I didn't wait long enough. I was used to using it on paper, which the paper dried like super duper fast on. The canvas just takes a little longer to dry on because it's a lot smoother of a surface and doesn't absorb as much. Or it's not exactly smoother, it just doesn't really absorb as much paint. And I just had a lot of fun working on this little canvas, and I gave him a little bow and I just made it a fun, cute little duck. And I'm probably gonna put it somewhere in my room or something, or maybe give it to my little sister. I don't quite know. But yeah, I like this little duck. They make me so happy. I think they're super cute. I also had a lot of fun adding in the clouds in the background. And adding in the little grass texture, I think is just super fun and cute. I love the sketchy messiness of it. And I enjoyed getting to make something a little more simple looking. So the duck walked up to the lemonade stand and said to the man running the stand, "Hey, bom bom bom, got any grapes?" Then he waddled away, waddle to the very next day. Bom, 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 bom. For this next picture, I really been wanting to make a fruit themed picture. I did have a sketch on my computer that I was going to do, but I decided not to do it because of the amount of detail it had. So I decided to make something a little more simple and just do a headshot. And this time I was really good about planning out the sketch. I made sure to plan out where I wanted all the colors. I planned out all the colors I wanted and how I was going to shade it. Everything was pretty planned out. I did leave the dress towards the end though, because I honestly didn't have any idea what would look good because of the amount of colors I had going on. And I was trying to make sure I had a good amount of contrast in the piece. But for the drawing, I gave her strawberry shaped irises, which iris is like the colored area of your eye. I made it shaped like a strawberry because I thought that would be super fun and cute. I was trying to make sure this picture was interesting even though it is just a headshot. I also gave her strawberry earrings, and I did decide to add a hand too. Originally there wasn't a hand at all, but I thought a hand would be cute. It would be a cute touch because I could add more colors in and I could paint her nails. But I had fun picking out the colors too for this picture. This picture is definitely a challenge in ways, trying to pick out the colors and trying to add contrast and stuff like that. As I continued on with the picture, I was definitely happy with the choices I made and that I chose to stick with that red, pink, purpley variety that I so loved earlier. And I also liked the few greens that we had too. And it was just a lot of fun and kind of satisfying filling in these areas with these paint markers. Like I'll show some real footage of my actual speed of when I'm filling in the spaces. It was just so satisfying. It was so relaxing. I haven't made traditional art in a while. Like I have kind of recently, I guess, actually. But I just had a lot of fun making this traditional art. There's something so relaxing and carefree about traditional art. which you wouldn't think it would be because of the fact that all your mistakes are so permanent, unlike digital art. But there's this calming element of traditional art. I think it's because you can't overwork things. Like what you do, you're stuck with. And this picture just made me really nostalgic towards like my old art. I used to draw pictures like this all the time when I was younger. Just that super cutesy, girly vibe. I just had a lot of fun with it personally. Like I have this one picture it was reminding me of in my old sketchbook, and I don't know why it reminded me of it so much, but this picture is just cute though. It makes me happy. It's just fun and cute. I don't know. But I'm gonna talk about the paper real quick. Like I mentioned earlier, the canvas is a lot better than the paper I was using. I was using some mixed media paper, and because these do have a bullet nib, they really eat up the paper, which is common for everything that has a bullet nib. Almost every marker, paint marker, whatever it is, I guess mostly just markers that have bullet nibs will eat up the paper. So I do recommend maybe getting some flat canvas or something. Like you can use it on paper for sure, just know that there will be a level of pilling with it. Like I don't know if you can tell while I'm working on the picture, but there is pilling here and there. I kind of did rub it off, some of it. Like I don't know if you should do that or not, but I kind of rubbed off some of it. But yeah, I'll probably use a different paper next time. I wasn't originally going to add on lines at all for this picture, but I decided to because it felt like it was really lacking in contrast and it needed something to make it a little more obvious that things were separated, because it was very hard to tell like her hand apart from her neck, and I felt like the overall picture seemed very much flat in color. Like, of course it's all flat in color, but I mean like I needed some darker colors in there besides just underneath her hair. I did use a very little amount of the other Arrtx markers I have that are a brush nib. They're also paint markers, just to get those finer details because I did not want to ruin the picture. So I used very little amounts of the paint markers. If I planned a little more, I could have used the bullet nib, but I decided to just use a little bit of the other markers. And for her dress, I decided to make it just the strawberry pattern, like the pattern on an actual strawberry, so it's like red with little yellow seeds, because I thought with her earrings it was cute and it felt like there was more pink and purple than actual red. I did decide to add blue lines behind her to add more interest to the picture, and I just thought it'd be really cute. I sometimes like doing this in my sketchbook, and I think it's really fun at a bigger scale. I do end up cropping the picture just a little bit, but that was my plan from the beginning, to crop it a bit, because I personally didn't like how long it was or the amount of space that was there. So I did take my paper cutter and cut off the bottom of it, and I really like how this picture turned out. I think it's super fun and cute, and I just had so much fun using these markers. And if you really like paint markers or you want to get into paint markers, I feel like these are some great markers to use, and they're just super fun. But yeah, I think they're super nice. So if you want some paint markers, I would say go for it. I really like them personally. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and watching me make art with these paint markers. Thank you to Arrtx for sending them to me. I had so much fun doing this. Well, that's all for this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye!